You sit down to work on something important. You even block off an hour for it. 10 minutes in, your phone buzzes, so you think, well, I'll just check my messages real quick. And suddenly 10 minutes later, you're on Instagram. Before you start blaming yourself, it has nothing to do with discipline, and I'll explain why in this analogy. Using your phone is a lot like skiing down a mountain. Over time, you carve out the same few routes again and again. Messages, Instagram, Reddit, email. Each time you go down the mountain in those trails, they get deeper, until eventually your brain follows them automatically each time you unlock your phone, even when you didn't mean to. Which is why people start looking for extreme solutions, like a dumb phone subscription, using a burner, or even just blocking apps altogether. But the real problem isn't smartphones. The problem is actually that our phones only have one mode. Our phones look exactly the same for everyday use compared to when we're trying to focus or when we're trying to sleep. So what we actually need is a phone that can change modes depending on what we're doing and go back to normal when we're done. I have been trying to solve this problem for years without spending any money. So after the last 2 years of experimenting, I finally figured out two very simple things. The first is our phone has to have 3 different modes. A normal everyday phone, one for deep focus, and one for sleeping. So when we're trying to accomplish these 3 things and our phone can change with it, it's no longer a fight of discipline versus our phones. Our phones can actually help support discipline. The second is changing between them needs to be effortless. It needs to be easy for me or else I'm not gonna do it. It's like back in high school, I used to have pretty bad acne, so my parents got me that 3-step proactive system, which is 2 steps too many for a 15-year-old boy. So it just sat in the bathroom cabinet unused because it wasn't easy. And this system is easy. 1 tap into the mode and 1 tap right out of it. And because of this system, I've gotten 45 more minutes of sleep every single night. My screen time is down to an all-time low, and I can jump into long periods of focus with little to no resistance because I've been using it so much now. And I'm going to show you how to build it step by step for free. Think of your phone now having these 3 different modes that are specific to whatever it is that you're doing. The regular mode, which is what it looks like right now in your hand or in your pocket. A productivity mode, which is a really focused environment that eliminates distractions. And a sleep mode, a mode that signals to your brain, hey, it's time to wind down and get some sleep. Each one serves a very specific function: everyday use, deep focus, and sleep. And when we're out of one mode and into another, we have to switch our phones. You already know that sleep is important, and our bodies count on that blue light from the sun to signal those sleep and wake cycles for our bodies. So every night at exactly 8:50 p.m., my phone switches from this to this. The screen turns red to reduce as much of that blue light as possible. Most of my apps completely disappear, and even the screen and what the apps look like completely change from every other mode. I am using my phone as a visual cue to completely change the layout of my phone and what it looks like to signal to my brain, the day is over, get to bed. This one change helped me get 45 more minutes of sleep per night over the last 16 months. And when I turn my phone alarm off in the morning, it goes right back to normal. When I need to focus, I tap a shortcut and everything changes instantly. Notifications stop, most of my apps disappear, even the background and home screen change. And now my phone becomes a tool instead of a distraction. The only apps really visible to me are the ones I actually need, which are ChatGPT, Brain FM, and my notes. And when I go to reach for it out of habit, the environment nudges me right back into working. And my favorite thing to use in this mode is Brain FM, which they're not a sponsor, I just really like the product. When they're combined, my phone becomes the ultimate deep focus tool. But there's something really important you have to know. When you're done with your block of focus, you have to turn it off. Otherwise, you start to revert back to old habits, you start adding apps back in that you don't need, and you kill that focus mode. So one of the problems with this skiing analogy is that sometimes I really only need to check one thing, but even now I can still get distracted. And for me, that's just a temporary thing to look up in ChatGPT. So I created a shortcut that opens a temporary ChatGPT instance immediately. So I can skip all the distractions and go straight to the temporary chat. And just so I'm clear, my goal isn't to eliminate smartphones, It's just to create environments where phones can work better for us. So I'll shut up now and show you how to build this 3-mode phone. Step 1 is pick your essentials and make your shortcuts. In sleep mode, my 2 essential apps are Medito and 8 Sleep, which controls my bed. So let's open the Shortcuts app, tap the plus button on the top right, tap Open App, tap on App, and I will search for Medito. Now I'm going to go ahead and tap this arrow and rename it as Medito, and then I'll tap the Share button, tap Add to Home Screen, and I'm going to change the icon in color. Now we have added a shortcut to this app on the home screen. Now go ahead and repeat this for your essential sleep apps. Step 2, we're going to set up what I call red light mode. Now we're going to make one more shortcut and automation. Tap on the plus button on the top right, type color filters, then tap turn and change it to toggle. Let's tap on the arrow and rename this to red light mode. I'll pick a cool icon. And from here, let's add this to our control panel. So swipe down from the top right corner, press and hold. At the bottom, tap Add Control, search Shortcuts. We're going to select red light mode. And now we'll turn on the automation so it turns on when sleep is turned on. So still in the Shortcuts app, let's tap on the bottom center where it says Automation, tap New Automation, choose Sleep. Now you have 2 options here. I recommend you choose Bedtime Begins, and here's why. At 8:20, my phone goes from normal to sleep without the red filter. This is a good warning for me that bedtime is approaching. Then at 8:50, my phone is full on sleep mode. So I like choosing Bedtime Begins because I use this middle screen as a cue to start getting ready for bed. Select Run Immediately, next search Red Light Mode, and we'll create one last automation. So click the plus button, choose Sleep, and here we're going to tap Waking Up and Run Immediately, select Red Light Mode, and now we're done with this step. Step 3, we're going to add the shortcuts to a new page. So now that we have shortcut icons onto our home screen, we're going to drag them to a new page. So press and hold on your home screen and then drag them over to a new page. Now in the top corner, tap Edit, then Edit Pages, and then uncheck this page to hide it, and you'll see why we do that in a minute. Step 4, we're going to edit and enable our sleep schedule. So we're going to open Settings, scroll down to Focus, tap on Sleep, then tap on Schedule, and we're going to turn it on to whatever time you want to be asleep by. I chose a bedtime of 8:50 and a wind down starting at 8:20. Realistically, I'm actually laying in bed around 9 and asleep maybe 10 to 15 minutes later. Now let's go ahead and customize what the sleep mode actually ends up looking like. So on Customize Screens, tap Choose for the lock screen, then pick one you like. I pick the moon because it reminds me of sleep. We'll tap Next. And then now we'll customize the home page. Here, we're going to select the page we hid earlier, which has all of our sleep essential apps, because we only want this page to be visible during sleep mode. Step 5, we're going to adjust the color filter. So this is actually the last step in sleep mode. While we're in settings, let's swipe back to the main settings page. In the search bar, type color filters, and you should see this page. So go ahead and turn color filters on. If this is the first time you've ever turned it on, you'll probably have grayscale selected. So tap on the very bottom one, which is color tint, and you're gonna drag both the intensity and the hue all the way up, and your screen should look red. Now let's toggle it off. So sleep mode is officially done. Now let's test it. Swipe down from the top right corner to open your control center, and then toggle on your sleep focus. Your entire screen should now turn red, and your home screen will change completely, hiding the rest of your apps. Now let's turn it off. So Control Center, tap on Sleep, and then while we're here, let's tap on the red light mode shortcut, This won't turn off automatically right now while we're testing it, because it'll turn off automatically when you first wake up and turn off your alarm. So now let's jump into DeepFocus, which starts off with the same steps 1 and 3 of sleep. First, we'll create the shortcuts for our essential apps, then we'll move them to a new page. If you feel like you can do these yourselves, skip to step 3, otherwise I'll repeat them here. So step 1, my essential apps for focus are Brain FM and ChatGPT, which is already in my dock, and my Notes app. Step 2 is I'll move these shortcuts to a new page, then I'll tap Edit Pages and hide this new page. Step 3, we're gonna create a new focus mode. So in Settings, find Focus, then we're gonna tap the plus button to create new. We'll tap Custom. Let's name it DeepFocus, and you can choose whatever icon you want. Then tap Customize Focus. Now, just like in sleep mode, we wanna customize the pages. I really like the space themes, so for this lock screen, I chose Saturn. Now let's customize the home screen and edit pages, and now select your DeepFocus page. Step 4 is we're gonna create the shortcut to turn on DeepFocus. So now let's create that shortcut. So in the Shortcuts app, create new shortcuts and search Set Focus. Now be careful with this one because there'll be other ones that pop up, but you want the one that looks like a little moon. Now where it says turn, you'll tap that and set it to toggle, then tap on focus and set it to deep focus. Now last, let's rename this as DeepFocus. Now for step 5 is we're gonna actually make the one tap DeepFocus. So from here, you actually have 2 options. If you like the small icon, then you can click share, then add to home screen, and you're almost done. If you like this bigger tile, then you can go to your home screen, press and hold, tap on the plus button, select add widget. Now let's search for shortcuts, and you're gonna just select whatever this big tile is. Now on your home screen, while it's still shaking around, tap on it, and then now we'll search for DeepFocus. And now you have a one tap into DeepFocus. Step 6 is we're gonna add the one tap out of DeepFocus. So this is really the last step. So we'll go ahead and tap on DeepFocus to turn it on. And again, your screen should completely change. You can do one of 2 things again. You can either go back to the Shortcuts app, you can find the DeepFocus shortcut, share, add to home screen, or you can add the big tile. And this is important because like on our normal phone, we have a one tap on, and in DeepFocus, we now have a one tap off. And now DeepFocus is completely ready. Last but not least, the fastest shortcut we're gonna make and my favorite tool I call Quick Question. This launches a temporary ChatGPT instance because I hate this running list of ongoing chats in my app. Sometimes I just wanna look something up and I don't want it saved. So step 1 is we're gonna create this shortcut. In the Shortcuts app, we're gonna tap New Shortcut, Open App. Let's choose ChatGPT and then search Start Conversation with ChatGPT. Here, we're gonna toggle on Temporary Chat. And now I'm gonna rename this to Quick Question. Step 2, now we add it to our home screen. I personally have this in my dock and I actually have it set up to my action button because I use it so often. So I want it available in all modes. So if you like the icon I use, you can click on the link in the description to download these images, save it to photos. Then in the Shortcuts app, when you share and add to home screen, you can choose an image and select one of these 2 pictures. That way you have a cool little icon. Otherwise, you can just tap share, add to home screen, customize it however you'd like, and you're done. That's it. You did it. You turned your phone into a 3-mode phone with no apps, no subscriptions, and no burner phones. Because we don't need to get rid of our phones, we just needed to make our phones fit our needs. So I'm curious, what's the biggest disruption your phone has in your life right now? Is it focusing? Is it sleep? Or even just screen time? Let me know in the comments below. By the way, I'm Edgar. I obsess over all things systems and processes to try and make life better. So if you want to keep taking apart the mechanisms that run our lives and leave with practical tools you can use immediately, then subscribe for more. Check out my video here that reveals the hidden mechanism that keeps you from building discipline. This is Better Inputs. Thank you so much for watching.